Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Let's Make Dinner, your audio library of amazing dinner recipes you can get on the table any night of the week. I'm your host, Susie Weinrich, and we are going to get right to it today. We have an amazing recipe that you can use in so many different ways. We are talking about basil pesto today. You've probably had basil pesto out at restaurants. If you get like a pesto pasta or pesto pizza, it goes great with chicken. It goes great with pasta. There are so many different ways that you can actually use this sauce. And believe it or not, if you haven't made it, it is extremely easy to make. It's made with just a few ingredients. It comes together in about 10 minutes, and that really includes your prep. So like cracking garlic cloves, getting all of your ingredients ready. This will be really easy to make. Here are the ingredients you're going to need: walnuts or pine nuts, fresh basil, of course, fresh garlic, extra virgin olive oil, kosher salt, and Parmesan cheese is optional, but I do prefer Parmesan cheese in my pesto. Also, to make your pesto, you will need some equipment. I like to make mine in a food processor because you can use the little feed tube at the top to drizzle in your extra virgin olive oil. If you don't have that, you can absolutely just use like a really powerful blender, whatever you have in your kitchen. A couple tips with some of the ingredients. Number one, your fresh basil. You're going to need a ton of fresh basil. You need about 5 cups. So if you're buying it in the store, I find the best place to get it is actually Trader Joe's if you have one nearby. Their packages of basil are nice and full. So you probably only need to buy 2 of their packages to get close to your 5 cups, maybe 3 actually. If you're buying it at the regular grocery store, you're going to need a lot of those little packages of basil. So your best bet is to go to Trader Joe's or to grow your own basil in the summer. It's a pretty easy plant to grow actually, and it is prolific. It grows and grows and grows. And if you are into having a green thumb, my recipe post for this basil pesto actually has some tips for growing, harvesting, and regrowing your basil. Another ingredient I want to talk about is the extra virgin olive oil. EVOO, extra virgin olive oil, is not the same as just olive oil. It will say it right on the package so you can see what is what. You want to buy the extra virgin olive oil. It has a much stronger, more pronounced flavor that you want in your pesto. So if you don't have that, go to the store and get extra virgin olive oil. All right, let's get on to making this recipe. So you're going to grab your food processor with a blade attachment or a blender, and you're going to add 1/3 cup of walnuts, or you can use pine nuts, and 7 garlic cloves. It is very garlicky, but that is what you want. Now, if you are very sensitive to garlic, maybe you could cut it back to like 4 cloves. But if you love that garlic, keep all 7. Then you're going to go ahead and pulse that walnut and garlic mixture together about 20 to 30 pulses until it's nicely ground up. Then you're going to add 5 cups of basil, 4 tablespoons of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and then 1/3 cup of fresh grated Parmesan cheese if you're choosing to use the Parmesan cheese. Then you're going to start your food processor, and in that feed tube, you will slowly drizzle in 1 cup of extra virgin olive oil and just keep blending it until it is smooth and all of the pesto comes together. Now, if you're using that food processor, you may need to scrape the sides of the bowl down a couple times just to make sure that everything gets processed together. With your pesto, you can use it right away, or you can store it in the fridge. It should be good for about a week. This is my favorite tip though. Pesto can be frozen beautifully. It will keep for 6 months in your freezer. And what I recommend is actually taking, like an old-fashioned ice cube tray, spooning about 1.5 tablespoon portions into each little cup, popping it in the freezer, let all those cubes freeze up, and then pop them out and put them in just like a freezer-safe baggie and keep it in the freezer for 6 months. That way you can use just a little bit at a time, or when you are ready to use it, it will thaw and cook down a little bit faster than if it was just in one big block. To use your pesto, it is excellent just tossed with pasta. And a little bit goes a long way with pesto. It's not like a marinara where you want it like soaking the noodles. You just want it to lightly coat the pasta. So I also recommend, if you're going to toss it with pasta, save a little bit of your starchy pasta cooking water. It will help kind of thin that pesto out and mix into the pasta a little bit better. And my tip for saving your starchy pasta cooking water, when you get your colander out and put it in the sink, pop a measuring cup in the colander and you won't forget that water. Pesto also makes a great dip for like grilled chicken or roasted shrimp. You can make a pesto cream sauce by adding a little bit of heavy cream, or you can make a pesto lasagna. I have a great recipe for a pesto lasagna skillet that has a little bit of Italian sausage and pine nuts and pesto. It's all made in one pan right on the stovetop. As always, I will link all of those recipes, the pesto recipe, and any recipe that I have to use that pesto right in the show notes for you. If you're enjoying these episodes of Let's Make Dinner, I would love it if you would subscribe or follow or rate and review the show so other people can find it and enjoy the recipes too. Until next time, I hope this episode of Let's Make Dinner makes your dinner time a little easier.